And today we're going to be talking about 28 Days
28
Later.
days later.
We should probably mention the writer Alex Garland, the director of Ex Machina, or, him and the writer of Walking Dead both conceptualized both of these stories at pretty much the same time, and they both have the exact same starting, and they both have said that they did not copy each other. It's pure coincidence.
Which I could understand, because there's many times where you see a lot of similar things, similar tropes in terms of storytelling that can be seen, like waking up. Like it's almost like a Wizard of Oz moment where you're sort of waking up somewhere else in a different kind of
It's kind of
scenario.
It's such a good way to sort of begin this kind of story, and
absolutely.
I can see why it's a common sort of way to begin this kind of story, because it's fitting. It works.
It sets up your story, and it opens a lot of questions.
You're learning with your characters.
That's right.
He's figuring out what's going on. You're figuring out what's going on.
And that's an important point. A little bit of learning here. So the first thing you want to do in any film is you want to get the audience to relate to that character.
Definitely helps.
And doing this kind of setup where you're learning as the character's learning, so you're learning about not only the character, but also the situation they're in, is a fantastic way of getting people on board with that character. Films that try and assume that you're going to be on board with a character are usually the films that fall apart pretty early on. Those films will typically throw you into a scenario and almost tell you that you have to care for this character. And that's not always the best way of doing things. So looking for ways of telling a story, like this film where it does, as I was saying before, it announces who the person is, but without being too obvious about it, but also gives you the gateway to explore the storyline, the scenario, the location, all that stuff, all in the first 5 minutes. That's sort of why when we discuss films that might have similar tropes, again, that comes down to this way of sort of announcing characters to the audience.